decided I wanted to do a Q&A because these videos always look like so much fun, and I know sometimes people have questions that they don't always want to ask me up front, so this just gives me a way to answer some questions that people have for me. And this was all from Instagram. I have the answers or the questions right here, and I'm gonna say the answers. I'm just getting ready to go out with my nurse friends, and we're gonna go out for a little work Christmas dinner, so I'm just in the process of getting ready. So the first question I got was, are you no Iona? And just based on who this was, I think they're talking about Iona Santana, who just competed for Miss Eco Teen International. She's from Canada, and I don't know her personally, but I saw that she made the top 10. She got best in resort wear and top 3 in talent. So good job, girl. And if I haven't met you, well, maybe one day I will. All the pageant community, you just kind of get to know each other after a while. I got a question. What is your favorite color? So although you cannot tell anymore, my favorite color is pink. And before, like, my walls all used to be pink. You can see my bedding is now like, I have a black blanket and there's a purple sheet cover, but that used to be pink. My floors used to be pink. Like, the decorations on my wall used to be pink. It was like a pink cotton candy ball, and I loved it so much, and it's still my favorite color. Even though I don't wear it or like have it as much, still my favorite. I got a question about, what is the favorite country you visited? Honestly, I think I visited like 15 countries now, and my favorite one was France. Just something about being on the coast of France was so romantic and beautiful. And had you not told me, sorry, the lighting's like uber on. Had you not told me that I was in France, like, I probably could have guessed it, just because it gave off this very like romantic, very cultural vibes, and just the way that it was so hilly, and each house just had like a really beautiful architecture to it. I'm not too sure, but I had a blast. And that was when I went to Europe this last summer with my family. We went to Saint-Héry, we went to a beach there, and we got to go walk through the shops. And then we also went, where else did we go? We went to Monaco, which is obviously a different country, but that was still very luxurious and beautiful. And even though we were on the coast, it just was one of the ones that made me feel just very carefree and very happy. So I absolutely loved France. So, Noor, so those two questions were by Bella. Hi, Bella. And then Noor asked, did you practice your pageant walk with someone? And she just mentioned that she'd want to improve. Well, I do offer pageant coaching, and since you're in the area, we could do in-person coaching sessions. So just something to think about. I do have a special going on until December 26th. If you are competing next year, that'd be a great time to capitalize on some pageant coaching sessions. And I did not practice with anybody to walk for my pageant. I did have a couple of mentors helping me, but nobody training me in person. What I really wanted to focus on was building strength and stability with my legs. Aside from just walking and practicing walking, of course I practiced, but about like the previous year that I was preparing, I was really focusing on the strength in my legs. So doing things like calf raises and just things to like strengthen the tone of your legs, so that way they could be strong and support you when you're in heels. And then also the flexibility and the flexibility and the balance and stability. So that came from yoga, doing a lot of yoga and making sure that no matter what kind of platform or height I was on, that I had enough balance in my own body to be able to walk in heels comfortably. And honestly, from looking at my last pageant to this pageant, I improved an insane amount. And there's still so much that I can improve upon that I'm really excited to do as well. But again, if you wanted more tips and tricks and the specific like exercises that you could do, please message me. I'd love to help you out as well. Carlos said, I already know you. Haha, very funny. You don't know everything about me. Got many layers. I can't see who asked this, but what made you decide to do your first pageant? Oh, I think this was Natalie. And what made you stick with it? So I talk about this in my keynote speeches that I present, but when I was 21 years old, I was 20 turning 21, I had this life epiphany. I talk about how I went to Mexico with a couple of friends and had a really great time for a week on a resort there, came back, and that I was looking through photos. And looking through these photos, I was like, I saw this one in particular, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, who is this? This girl looks like she's not having a good time. And it was me. And I hadn't even realized that it was me that I was critiquing in this photo. And I thought, I just didn't recognize myself. I didn't look happy. I didn't look like I was having fun. I didn't physically look like myself because, you know, at that point I probably gained like 25 to 30 pounds in university. So that was just kind of like a wake-up call to me to be like, who am I and who is this, like, what is this life that I'm living that I don't even recognize myself? And so from there, I started taking some conscious steps. Like there was a whole bunch of things that I did, and I ended up losing a little bit of weight, and 2 months later I saw an opening for Miss Via Italia on Erie Street, and I messaged Sonny Borelli, of course, like the king of pageants in Canada, and he had, you know, just told me there was pretty much nothing else I had to do other than just show up to one of the rehearsals that they had and then show up the day of. It was a very simple, basic, you know, starter pageant, and, you know, to just sign up and join. And I was kind of already sold on the idea because when I had seen it, it struck a chord in me that it hadn't before, because I'd always seen pageants in my area and I'd always kind of envied the girls that did. And it was never something that I talked about, but it was always something I thought about. And so at this point in time, when I was in this new lifestyle mindset and I saw this opening, I thought, wow, okay, I'm gonna do this. And then I ended up winning the Miss Congeniality Award, which is like any girl's dream because of the movie. And then I also got second runner up. So to do so well after having like a zero experience, and I had such a blast. And I remember the next day thinking, oh, I didn't win. Like, is it supposed to feel bad to not win? I don't know. I had so much fun. And I knew that I was going to be competing for Miss Tecumseh 2 months later. And I thought, well, if I won this pageant, I wouldn't be able to win that pageant. So maybe that's why I didn't win this time. And I had honestly, it was just so much fun, like meeting other girls. I had really wanted to get more involved in my community. I wanted to meet other girls, and I wanted to be able to find out more about myself and doll myself up more and just really like have that personal growth and development journey. And pageants just gave me that access. And when I won Miss Tecumseh 2 months later, it just propelled me in this direction that clearly the universe was like, girl, we've been waiting for you. So that was a phenomenal experience. And I just got back from my second international pageant, placing in the top 20. I think it's an amazing journey. Like, some girls don't even ever get the chance to be a title holder, and I've won 2 pageants and I've never not placed in one of my pageants. So I'm just very lucky, and I've had so much fun, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So who knows, stay tuned for what would be next. All right, next question. Someone asked, why do you wear hooker heels? I'm assuming that they're talking about the Chinese lingerie pageant girl heels, and I want to know, why are the hookers wearing my kind of heels? Let me know about that, okay? I love this question. Oh my gosh. If you could only ever eat rice or potatoes, which would you pick? Potatoes, 100%. There's like a million things that you could do with potatoes. You could have them mashed, you can have them baked, scalloped, boiled. You can have sweet potato, regular potato, potato salad. Rice is just rice. Like, I rarely ever choose to have rice. It's good. It's good, but if I had just my mirror here, hey. Yeah, so I would totally pick potatoes any day. Did I say baked potato? Oh, I love potatoes. Hash browns. Anyways, potatoes all the way. Ariel asked, what is your favorite color? Oh, and I already answered that. It's pink. And then, what's your favorite part of competing in a pageant? Oh, I'd have to say one of the 3 things that I already mentioned, the fact that you meet many girls, and I've kept in touch with girls that I met from the very first pageant I competed in and every other pageant after that. And sometimes when you're not, you know, a child and you're not in these new environments where you're able to make friends, it's a little bit difficult when you're a young adult or a teenager, or even, I guess now I'm an adult. It's kind of hard to figure out how to make new friends and where to meet people at. And pageants have just always given me that opportunity to make friends, and I'm very grateful for that. And not only that, I'm able to have a platform in my community and across my country that not many people take that action in their life to give back to other people at, you know, a national and international level. And had I not joined pageants, I might have not ever gotten so involved with Optimus International, and I might not have ever, you know, chose to host these fundraisers and these events to give back to my community. But if we're talking about competing in the pageant, I don't know. Interview, honestly, that's my strong suit. Like, I want to say walks because I think they're fun, but I just know I excel when like interview is the big focus of the pageant. So my walks can definitely improve, but I've just always been able to nail interview, and I love coaching interview. It's my favorite thing whatsoever. So that's my favorite part. And then Ariel also asked, where do you expect life to take you next? I see life taking me on a really big adventure next. I don't feel like I've hit my stride. I don't feel like I've hit my peak or anything. I feel like that's all still to come, and I can see that happening in 2020. So not only will I be open to new things, new opportunities coming to me, I'm definitely going to start putting in motion some of my own projects that are definitely very out of the box. I'm trying to look for questions, but it's so weird because these spam accounts just keep like, they'll comment emojis, or they'll be like, DM us to be an ambassador. And it's in the Instagram questions. And I'm like, excuse me, that's not why we're here. I was asked, if you wrote a novel, what would it be about? I definitely see myself writing a book one day. I don't know if it's a novel. I don't know if all novels are books or if all books are novels, whatever one is that, but I'm not very good at fiction writing or like writing in general, although I am kind of a writer, but I'm a speaker. That's like my strong suit. But if I wrote a novel, I want to say it'd be about my life. Like obviously that's what the book would be about, but a novel, like my life isn't that interesting that it would be a novel. But that's like the main thing that I'd say. And if it had to be fiction, I'd probably make it way more interesting than that. But something about, you know, having like a rough time in your life. I wouldn't say rough, but then overcoming like your beliefs and whatever you were born with and these limiting circumstances that you had in your own mind, and then finding success. But of course, having many trials and tribulations along the way. That would probably be what a book I write about is. And that's all the questions for right now. And those are all the ones that I was able to answer. I do have to finish getting ready for my dinner tonight. But thank you everybody for submitting questions. I'm glad I was able to answer them. And if you ever want to know more about me, just, shoot me a message. I'd love to answer some. And I just love speaking. That is truly my strong suit. And I just want to be able to do more of it. And if it's through videos on YouTube or on my blog, in my Instagram stories, I'm more than happy to do that. But in order to do that, I would love to have topics to talk about as well. So thank you so much, and everybody have a great weekend.